Hello there viewers, welcome back to the episode of Central Park Rangers with me, DORTMUND GFA, and welcome back to the USL League 2. Oh, viewers. After playoff final disappointment last time out, we find ourselves back in League 2, and I think with a really good chance of getting promoted this season. I think a top 6 finish based on last season is certainly possible. Not according to the bookmakers though, they're not so sure. According to the season preview, 9-1, 9th position. You've got to say a lot of those sides up there very closely contested. The sides that have come down, they are potentially going to struggle. The sides that have come up look far stronger though, so that's going to be interesting to see how that balances out. It should make the league overall more competitive than it was last season. I fear for the Long Island Rough Riders, who had a rough ride last season. When you look at the transfer window this year, you can see a few sides in the division have spent rather big on just not too many players as well. For example, SP Kanami, which I assume is how it said, 3 players in, 250 grand spent, so some big moves have happened over there. We are sort of middling to that. We've spent £8,000. It's not a lot of views. Players don't really want to come and play in the league, USL League 2. Who knew that would be a thing? I predicted that would be a thing. And in a way, for balance, I'm pleased that's a thing. 2 players have gone out, then 10 players have been brought in very, very quickly before we continue. Dele Alli's gone to Manchester City. Jesse Lingard's gone to Chelsea for $113 million. Eden Hazard's gone to Liverpool. Thiago's gone to Arsenal. Rashford's gone to Chelsea. And Eric Dyer's gone to Manchester United, I think that is. Basically, Europe have gone mad since I've left. It's going crazy over there. And while we're here, actually, Atlanta have made a massive signing as well. They've brought in Carlos Vela from LAFC. It'll make LAFC surely far worse and them so much better. That's going to be curious to see how he gets on in the top division now, of course. A very good player in his own right, Carlos Vela, becomes their key player almost immediately. A bit of a superstar in this league system. But you're not here for Carlos Vela at Atlanta United. If you are, apologies, because this video will not feature them again from now on. These then are the transfers that we've made. We've brought a few players in. A few players that last season I did hint at bringing in. Some of which I think are really good. Some of which are average. I would say average is probably fair. Let's start with some of the best ones though and flick our way through. So let's start with musical recording artist Sam Smith, or instead Winger. Mentally is a little lacking. Good determination, good teamwork. Apart from that, not fantastic. Great crossing as well. Dribbling's a little on the iffy side as is his technique in passing, but physically and crossing, that's basically what I wanted. A quick winger with good acceleration, with decent crossing ability, not too bad at corners or free kicks either, so has got that in his locker. One of the, probably our best player we brought in, I'm not going to lie to you. 18 years of age. I think he's got all the attributes needed to be a success in this tier of football. Sam Smith, welcome. Worth noting though that this is probably close to as good as he might get, so I guess we'll see as the seasons go on. Another one I'm happy to bring in is Chris Brady. Now, we talked about Chris Brady, the Canadian, last time. 14 finishing, 10 composure, 13 off the ball, but 18 acceleration. We played against him last season. You remember he was part of that Coras Nayarit, close enough, team from last season. 16 in 37 in our division, and for just under $2,000 we've got him in. I think for $2,000 we've got quite the player on our hands. Probably won't start for me at the very start of the season, but as we go through the league I'm sure we'll see him more and more. Chris Brady, welcome. Another player I'm quite excited to bring in is Matt Thomas, the American left-sided player. I think, did I get him on a free transfer? I think I did, you know. Yeah, I did. Las Vegas let him go. We snapped him up. Acceleration's very good, pace is solid, strength is okay as well. 6'1", decent crossing, decent dribbling. You can see I was going for very specific things: crossing, dribbling it if possible, and fast out on that left side, left-sided winger. Then something we need a little bit more support of. With Shutoff already out there, I wanted another player, and Matt Thomas is that man. A winger called Thomas. We're already loving life. All right, let's focus on a defender who apparently is getting worse as soon as he's joined. So welcome, Jordan Scarlett. You can see all players that I can pronounce the names of, so things are going well. Acceleration, pretty quick, strong as well, 6 foot tall, decent heading, decent marking, and okay tackling for this division. Good leadership, decision making. Everything else is to be desired, but those are his key points. We've also got Ronaldo Vieira, the 29-year-old Brazilian. As a defensive midfielder, I think looks pretty good. 16 flair, though, for a defensive or central midfielder is a little bit too high, if anything. I don't want him doing tricky back flicks or things like that. You can see he's been around a little bit, was playing in Portland's second side before being released, but 6 goals and 7 assists last season. Not the best average rating, which concerns me that he's a bit of a one-off wonder in games, but yeah, I think we've got ourselves a decent player there. Another player that can play in the midfield. It means rotation should be a lot easier this season. Last year, we were getting tired, and that's why we're losing games. So I was having to rotate, and we're losing to teams we should never lose against, really. And finally, David Pacheco, 25-year-old Mexican striker. I've gone for a couple of strikers this year. We're sort of overloaded in that area, but I figured we may as well be. Decent pace, work rate again to be desired a little bit, but okay finishing, dribbling, first touch. Quite nicely well-rounded without being a star at anything, really. And that's really the main additions to the side. A couple of boys have gone out that really didn't feature too much last year, so there's not much use in talking about them. And this then is the team going forward in terms of ability. Sam Sam Smith and John Thompson still very much up there. John Thompson has been subject to so many bids, I'm concerned that he might actually leave me. But 29 years of age, I still want to keep him here. For now, Firmino is still here in goal. We've got Chris Brady as mentioned. Jeff Matured is still here. And if he's still here, Brian Bement's still here. We should offer Brian Bement a new contract, really. He's not even on a... Let me sort that out. All right, Brian, are you happy? Are we happy? We're happy. I could negotiate it, but it's not a lot, and we've got the wage budget to play with. So get players that want the deal, happy, tied down. That makes it sound worse. In terms of potential as well, quite a few players now coming through that I think really could be superstars. Sandoval's going to be an interesting one at right back. If his tackling and marking goes up this season, he could well be a fixture at right back for us in the future, which is nice to see. But I think to oust McTurk at this point seems unlikely. So the boys then are looking pretty strong. And when we look at a system on paper, you can see here then this is similar to what I would play as a best 11. It's a bit frustrating that Smith and Thomas much prefer being a little deeper. I don't know if I'm going to switch to that, maybe play them slightly more attacking out in these wide areas. Of course, last year we played this quite successfully. Whether we just train them both, they're both young-ish, so we can train them both to play in those wider positions. We'll have to wait and see. And in midfield, we've got so many options. Brian can come in, we can drop Danny slightly deeper. And we've got lots of options off the bench as well to keep it fresh, which is very, very pleasing. Sandoval is going to have to come in for today's game in the Cup. Now, last season, let's take you back down memory lane. I'm so sorry I hit you there. So last season, in this competition, we played Yal Malkin. I'm sure you remember it. It was our first games of the series, the USL Cup first round. 2-1 defeat. We were knocked out of it. This year, we're going to try and win it. We're going to try and do something in it. And our opposition for this is Durango. Now, Durango are a league above us. Wow, how many injuries have they got? Injuries and suspensions across the board. But the pleasing thing for us is they didn't have a particularly good year last year. So I suspect that as we were one of the better sides in the lower division, much like you see in the Premier League sometimes, the championship teams can sometimes beat the lesser Premier League teams, depending on form and things like that. You can see 18th position, 33 points. I think this is more winnable than last year in a strange way. So, without any further Freddie ado... He's not here, viewers. He's not here. Without Freddie ado, we could just say that. Without Freddie ado, let's go into our first game of the league season. What can possibly go wrong? Nothing can go wrong. We are flawless. Oh, season ticket-wise, we've sold one more. One more. One extra one. Oh... I mean, who is it? Who's bought that extra one season ticket? That's the question. One person has decided that last year wasn't worth it. This year, can't get enough of it. One extra I'm a little bit disheartened, viewers. I'm not going to lie. One extra season ticket. At least it hasn't gone down. I mean, at least it's not one less. All right then, gang. Team-wise, we're going to go with a relatively familiar lineup from last season, but with obviously a few changes as well. Firmino's going to be in goal. Sandoval, our backup right back, is going to feature today because McTurk has got a little bit of an injury concern. Scarlett is going to be at the back with Sameo. Nick Bibbs is still here, by the way. After last year's calamity, still here. Thompson at left back, though. Danny in the ball in the midfield role. Bement matured. Smith on one side. Thomas the other. And Zaid up top through the middle. Still remains with us this season. Physically is declining a little bit, but still good enough, I think, to do a job here. Last year was a prolific goal machine. 28 and 32 in this level of football. Do it again, Zaid. Do it again. 7.43. Sam Smith needs a number. I know I'm not the only one. Just say... Sorry, Sam Smith's on the brain. Apologies. At least that was perfectly in tune. Alright, boys, let's get out there. Calm approach. I've got faith in you all. Do the business. Come back with a victory at the end of the game. Come on, boys. Alright, we're going to lay things down with a little bit of 2D for this one. We are in the darker green. They're in a slightly lighter green. It's a medley of green. Alright, can we kick our season off better than we did last year? That's the big question. That's the hope. That's the aspiration. That's the dream. I think we've strengthened the squad really nicely as well. I think the ability to make changes up front is going to be a real difference for us. As Smith, referee, there's a red card after 12 minutes. Smith's been brought down. I mean, when he said stay with me, he was too close, wasn't he? That's a Sam. For those that don't know the Sam Smith song, then this won't make much sense. But he's gone. Sending off. They're already down to 10. If we don't win it now, then there's going to be, shenanigans. Now, since that red card, viewers, it's half an hour's gone. Nothing's occurred. So... boys. All right, it's a corner. Zaid's going to play it in this time. Smith's there. Oh, he's not the biggest, but he does find the header against the post and cleared. We've had a lot of the ball. We've had quite a few chances. They've had the odd shot as well. But, yeah, we've not found the back of the net yet. And now it's them coming forward. We've got to remember, they are the higher division side. Maybe I'm writing them off too easily. I thought this would be Yanez has scored, the 10 men of Durango. Maybe I underestimated the higher reaches. I mean, they've done well there, to be fair. They've played it across quite neatly. And this man with an injury, clearly not his right foot, has scored a screamer. So it's Durango 1 and such part of Rangers nil. It's fair to say they're a bit unchained this match. Sorry, I could have done that better, couldn't I? Could have worked that in better, but I've just got it out there. All right, so with 10 men and a 1-0 lead, second half we need to show something else. I think tactically the obvious thing to do here is to go slightly more positive. We'll go balanced to begin with and then maybe move things further forward. I'm going to bring Smith and Thomas don't like it. Let's move them further back, but then play them in attacking duty so they continue to fill that space. Or that's the theory anyway. Here we go then. Second half, not fantastic, and obviously with lots of options off the bench, so he needs to get a goal quickly. Because I'm looking at Chris Brady and I'm thinking, Segbers is there as well. We've got options to bring off the bench if we need to. Look, we're seeing very little here. Let's make some changes. All right, Segbers is coming on that right-hand side, and Chris Brady, with the electric pace, is coming on. 18 acceleration for Chris Brady. I expect him to be in behind every which way, as it's them that bring it forward this time. Now, ball over the top would be fantastic here. That's almost what I want us to do. Just launch over the top, Brian. Come on, Thomas, you do it instead then. Somebody do it. No one's doing it. We're working it neatly in the centre, which is fine, as it comes out to Segbers on this right-hand side now, as he bursts his way towards goal. Thomas on that left-hand side, if he can get it to the middle, he can. Brady scores on his debut. Chris Brady, that's what we want to see. He's got electric pace, but it was his finishing ability this time, viewers, that did the job. Durango 1, Central Park Rangers 1, and with 22 minutes to go, game on. You can see us work the ball neatly forward there, out towards Thomas. That was a little bit overhit, but Thomas does brilliantly to get it back into the centre, and having a winger called Thomas is giving me throwback memories. All right, highlight immediately after the goal. This is going to go one way or another. The ball launched forward. You think with their 10 men here, we certainly have an advantage as Thompson takes control. This is where the ball over the top might be worth doing. Thompson, now he has to cut back, play it into Thomas. We've got Thomas and Thompson on that side. It's a T squared situation as Danny plays it all the way out to Sandoval, who we've not seen too much of. Into Segbers now, back to Sandoval. We've seen McTurk from here. Ball played in. Danny's there, and it's not counted. And my voice is still in the mode that we've scored. Bring it out of that, Ben. Oh, there we go. All right, well, we weren't balanced to begin with. We're going to go slightly more positive now. Again, we've got more players on the pitch. I might make a change in the centre to freshen things up. I actually am going to do that. We're going to bring Ronaldo Vieira on for Danny in that defensive role and just see if that makes any difference at all. Just keeping it fresh, keeping it moving in the middle. I don't know what happens if this is a draw. Does it go to extra time? I could do without extra time, viewers. Oh, it's going to be extra time. It is. Well, they've got 10 men, so this should be a doddle from now on. All right, pass it you say, boys. You weren't that bad. I believe you've got what it takes. Come on, boys. Faith in you. They all look delighted. Come on. If we can't win this, I mean, for heaven's sake, they've had 10 men since minute 12. I will be disappointed in them. So this matters, is what I'm getting at. Thomas on this left-hand side. That's going to get confusing. Thomas or Thompson? Who is it? Was it a shot? Was it a cross? Was it a Fellaini shot? Who knows? All right, time's ticking away. We're already on positive. Do we go even more attacking here? They've got a lot of players on yellow cards or injuries. I think we try and force a goal here. We could potentially make another switch as well, but it's whether we want to take that sort of risk. I mean, it might go to penalties. Me and penalties, I tell you, we love them. We'll change up Vieira's role a little deeper. I'm going to push Thomas further forward again in this left wing position. I'm not going to make a change, though. I'm going to keep things as they are. Everyone looks all right. No one's playing really badly either, so we'll keep it as we are. All right, tactically, I'm just going to change Brian to attack in that midfield role. I've had him on automatic just so he gets up and down slightly better, can support both defence and attack, but now I just want him to focus on getting forward and hopefully getting this goal rather than going to penalties, viewers, because my record of penalties is mixed, let's say, as Brady lays it off to Vieira, who races forward, but no, cut out this time. And they seem to be holding us off for now. But you see, you can already see, just by looking at it, the player advantage we've got in the air, especially on this right side. Look, we're begging for it, really. Thomas, though, as he cuts back inside. We're working this very, very slowly and patiently, but I'm okay with that, especially if it leads to a goal. As Chris Brady, God, this is where your pace matters, mate. Doesn't quite get there, though. Ball all the way out to Sandoval. And now Vieira gets to dictate from a deeper role into matured. Maybe Vieira is going to be the key this year. I guess we'll have to wait and see. As Sandoval finally, ball played in. Brady's there and smashes home. 2 goals for him and a yellow card on his debut. He's got everything going on for him. Chris Brady may well be the star of this season. Zaid was fantastic last year and we thank him for that. But it looks as if Chris Brady this year may well be the striker that we have been searching for on the volley. First time hit. Beautiful ball in from Sandoval as well, who's not known for his crossing ability at all. But we'll take it, viewers. And that's what you want to see as time hopefully will now tick away and disappear. This is going to be a good result for us. 115 minutes, gone. There may well be another one for us. Thompson drives forward, finds Thomas, and it's in. I don't know how it's gone in. 3 dimensions help me. I don't know if this has just hit the bar and looked really fantastic, or if the keeper has made a bit of a mess of it. Either way, we're about to find out now as Thompson plays it across to Thomas. The voices go in, and it sort of bounces off the line in. So, I mean, the spin must have been immense. Football Manager, do we really need that? honestly, he's level. We can all see he's level. It's a great strike. Well, this has been quite an enjoyable first game of the season. I've got to say, I've enjoyed this a lot. Pre-season went pretty well. And yeah, there you are then. 3-1 leaders against Durango. That's what we want to see. Thomas set it clear as they fit the post and he made me look daft. But overall, a really good performance. Obviously, them having 10 men hurt them quite a lot. They scored an absolute, looking back to their goal, an absolute screamer, it must be said. But that should wrap things up here as time is ticking away slower than ever. There we are then, job done. And we progress, where we didn't progress last year, to the next round. I think the draw for that has actually already happened. I don't know who we play though. Alright, it's not for ages. We don't play until the end of September in the second round. Blimey, they really spread those out, which will be interesting to see. And there was a question, by the way, on yesterday's episode. I thought I'd answer it now. Is there a continental competition, like a Champions League competition? Yes, there is. For those that are wondering, there is one of those. Just thought I'd clarify that now. Right then, that is going to bring us to the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like on the video. Want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. And we love with care from Until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye. Waving. Doing the waves back out. Whee!